the beer. But what we've got here is we've got Ndonnakan stew paired up with the Andy Gator Doppelbock.
Right.
And we've got the Hollandaise to Confuse paired up with Purple Haze. That's our matchup, just so that everybody's clear.
Okay.
And Danny, you want to kick off this voting round?
Well, I don't vote on the wings per se. But as far as now, are we cracking open this last brew, or we're not getting into the?
We'll do that after.
Right
Let's do the vote first.
Let's do the vote.
Man. See, I'm always thinking, how can I drink multiple beers? And for me, I'm always just going to lean more towards those pale ales. So I'm going to have to go with the second one. I'm not going to want to drink 3 raspberry flavored beers and the first double bock. That's just not quite my thing. So yeah, I'm going to go for the
big
session
easy
pale ale. Yeah,
the big easy. Yeah, right on. That was a good one. Liz, what was your favorite beer of the night?
I like the raspberry one.
Oh yeah, Purple Haze.
Yeah, I like the fruity ones. Obviously, I like sours. And for the wings, I'm going with the stew Dominic whatever.
Ndonnakan stew.
All right, first quarter touchdown already.
Come on,
all right,
come on.
All right, here we go.
Football chick Ndonnakan Sue. Ndonnakan.
How do you even say? Literally, how do you say his name?
I know.
She's a gunslinger.
All right, touchdown, 7-0. Ndonnakan's up over Hollandaise.
First of all, the Hollandaise, I found the lemon to be the best part about that one.
Oh.
I'm going to Ndonnakan stew.
Ooh, he's stewing it up.
Wow.
Stew.
Coming right out of the gates
He's
with
taking
2
them down.
touchdowns.
Yeah.
What was
I'm going to take the old Jimi Hendrix.
Oh, Purple Haze.
I'm going to take that. I said,
Purple Haze.
yeah.
2 scores for Purple
Ndonnakan
Haze,
stew.
too. This is just a blowout right out of the gate.
What was the
Todd
last
and
one
Liz
I
are the
drank?
same person.
Purple Haze was your last one.
Yeah, so I'm definitely Purple Haze. That was very tasty.
Wow.
That is their best beer.
Most
You know what
popular
I mean?
for sure.
Their most popular for sure.
Chicken wise,
Mm-hmm.
damn, you are talented. So I'm split, right?
He called you world professional chicken, I think.
The Hollandaise, I love a good Hollandaise.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, with eggs Benedict, we're in there.
Yeah.
I never even thought to have Hollandaise on chicken.
I know. I don't think anybody did.
But this does it. But the stew, man, I'm a soup guy.
Mm-hmm.
That was delicious, and the kick. I haven't been here for all the other little bites. But I've had some flavors. That just has more flavor.
Mm-hmm.
It broadens your palate a little bit more. But they're both very delicious. And I appreciate being here.
Which one are you going with?
We're going with the stew, man.
All right.
14-7. Here we go. 14-7.
Well, at this point, my vote doesn't matter.
Oh, wait, no, not 14. Right, 21 zip. Is this 21 zip?
21 zip.
Oh, no. We have a blowout?
So
Oh, no.
It's
Looks like a Miami game here.
You can make it respectable.
But listen, I'm gonna throw a late fourth quarter touchdown for my team, just to keep us in the game. You know what I mean? Because I don't want to disappoint. We want to show something, and
Cover
I think
the spread.
I'll tell you what. I think this Hollandaise and Confused is more creative. In a way, it's offering
That's
this
a very good way of putting it.
How, though? You've never even had wings before that were cut up. I mean, that is super creative, beyond creative. They're cut up wings.
Yeah,
where you're just eating them.
Yeah, but the Hollandaise is first of all, the name is awesome. I mean, not that Ndonnakan stew isn't awesome too, but Hollandaise and Confused. It's got that lemon component. It's got a little bit more heat to it. It sticks around with you a little bit longer. I think it's got more. And also from creativity, I mean, from a spice point of view. You know, not necessarily the
flavor.
Not necessarily the components. You know, obviously the Ndonnakan stew is very creative component wise, but yeah, I think it was a great pairing for this Purple Haze. So I'm going Hollandaise and Confused for my last touchdown, and I lost, but it was a great game. Thanks for having me out.
No, you never know. There's onside kicks and stuff. Dirt, what do you think?
I typically am a
mustard guy,
mayonnaise, eggs, any sort of egg sauce. I love egg sauce. But the Ndonnakan stew, like, that got me this week. I'm like, I think out of the two, that was the one that made the biggest impression on me. I'm going with that one. And I'm also
spicier
going with
one.
the Andy Gator. So in Domicon Stew with the Andy Gator, I think it's a great pairing. I like both of those. I don't know, beer wise, I typically don't drink beer for session.
What?
But I think I could drink Andy Gator and that wing sauce and like make a Sunday football day out of it, and it would be perfect.
Yeah.
I think it would fit.
I thought the name session was for like going on drinking a 12-pack, right?
Session means that if you're sitting you're sitting at a bar, and that day you're at that bar, that's your session.
Right.
Meaning that you can go up to the bar, and every time they come, another Andy Gator. Yep. And that's the only beer you're drinking. Right. That's what session means.
And you eat egg Benedicts. Isn't that from a chicken? You said you never thought to put hollandaise
No,
sauce
no.
with chicken.
I'm only laughing because, please.
Find it fun. No, I'm not. I'm not laughing at that.
I'm just laughing.
I'm just asking you a rebuttal question.
When I was sitting here thinking that this couldn't get any whiter, he mentioned mayonnaise and eggs.
He's a mustard guy. Yeah. He's a mustard guy.
But Dirt, just to remind you, the fact that you want a session drink Andy Gator is awesome, by the way, because it's 8%.
Yeah, but I mean, let's be honest.
But you just,
that's a step down for me.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. That's what makes that. That's what makes that fun.
So that's that strong ass whiskey he drinks.
Oh man, that stuff's ridiculous. So what are we doing next, Liz? What you got going on for us? You taking us on a?
Wait, I thought you had another one you want to pop out.
Oh, you got? Well, you want to drink this during this session?
Now?
Do it. Let's have
This is
All right.
because I think this is. You said this is kind of a learning experience, huh?
Yeah, the first learning experience is anytime you open a lambic, don't do what I just did and open it over your lap. Now, granted, Duranke they're a professional, so they're probably not. But anytime you open a wild fermented beer, you don't want to open it over any computers, yourself, because wild fermentation means it's potentially still alive in there, and that's what
live yeast.
Yeah,
okay.
Live yeast. I mean, if you guys are familiar with champagne, the original form of live yeast, Champenois from France, you know what you're talking about there is active cultures, and this beer is fermented spontaneously. This is an actual real lambic, and this is an unflavored lambic, which is hard to find.
Yeah,
you can take a look at this beer and realize that this beer wasn't cheap.
Okay.
A hard to find situation. It's very hard to find and you can see it's got the concave. This is so that when you age it on lees, just like a wine bottle would be, age it on lees, the yeast would settle around this cone inside, and just set there nicely. And allow it to kind of lay at the bottom and continue to not necessarily ferment, but just kind of be slightly active enough to maintain the carbonation of the beer.
Okay.
This beer is not carbonated with CO2. Beers that come from Belgium, France, Italy, anywhere in Europe, are, with the exception of the macro lagers, are generally not going to be force carbonated.
Okay.
They create their carbonation through the natural process of fermentation. This beer is in its natural state, as beer was meant to be drank.
Okay.
So it's not as carbonated.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So let's pour a round of it.
Bringing this up. So when I talk about drinking like the unflavored goes, like Here Goes Nothing and beers like that, and I've always said I'm a fan of unflavored lambics. So based on what you just told me, is I've probably never had an unflavored lambic before.
No, you have not. You do use the words lambic, goza, and all those words synonymously, which is no big deal. I'm not going to bust your balls about that. I mean, now I will on the air, but
right.
I want to do it in front of people, not.
I don't even know what those words mean.
Like my mom, when she used to beat me down in public, she did it in public. Back in the day. Mom pulls your pants down at the grocery store and tears you to pieces.
So can I just say, like when you were saying, remember when when he brought sours to the table, and you have sours where it's like a blueberry sour or a sour, and those always have like fruit flavors in it. Well, a sour with no flavor at all, I've always called an unflavored lambic, and apparently the difference between a sour and a lambic is they're not the same. So now we are drinking an unflavored lambic. So this is in the sour family, but this is an actual traditional unflavored lambic.
It's grapefruit.
Yeah,
That's wonderful.
you'll get a heavy
What
grapefruit
is
hit.
This goes great with the edibles. I'm
This
just
is-
like,
Everybody take a smell of this.
it
bad
smells
boy.
like bubble gum to me, man.
What have you been eating? Is that
It really
Man,
does.
I'm just gonna
Yeah,
tell you the
it really
truth.
does.
It does smell like bubble gum.
Right?
This whole
Yeah.
session has started to get me all buzzed up again on all the alcohol I had the last 2 days. I'm like feeling it coming on.
The bender's going
Eyes are
again.
getting heavy.
That's one of the beautiful things about a lambic is you can smell all these different things.
What is a lambic?
I didn't smell that.
So a lambic starts with
Funny.
Pilsner malt and then also raw wheat. It's brewed and then it's left to ferment with the native cultures that are in the air in the area. So generally a beer.
So
that
it ferments naturally?
yes. So whenever beer
So you don't put an additive to it to help it ferment?
So sort of, yes. So not necessarily, yeah. So I'll explain it. So all the beer you've drank, all the beer we've drank tonight, for example, is used with a constrained yeast strain that is picked out specifically. Saccharomyces cerevisiae is picked out exclusively to make 99.99% of beer in America because they isolated that strain and said this gives us beer flavored beer. But the air is rich in all kinds of different microflora that can inoculate your beer and make it a beautiful thing. Like, you going all the way back to the Egyptian times, and they believe that a god visited the pool of beer, of cooked grain water, and inoculated it and blessed it and turned it into fermentation.
Your brain does not hurt.
What do they call that?
Your brain doesn't hurt at all right now.
No natural
No.
grown pathogens. So it's not that. What's that word? People look at their food.
GMOs.
Yeah, no GMOs in that kind of food.
No, in this you wouldn't have because it's what's in the air. So when you talk about a winery, you've got the terroir. Well, when you talk about beer, you're kind of talking about the same thing when you're drinking a beer like this. So the aromas and the flavors of this beer are what is in the air in that area.
I think you just made me dumber.
Yeah,
I didn't pick up a lot of that.
I will
There's
say,
a lot of confusing.
if this is my
I'm not
first time-
I'm not a great chemist.
So if this is my first time having an actual unflavored lambic, it's not as sharp.
all right.
It doesn't bite as hard as like an unflavored sour was or a goza.
Yeah,
It does, but it hits me the same way. Like
Yeah.
I'm definitely I with such a small tasting sample of it,
Mhm.
I kind of just shot it down so we can talk about it. But
Yeah.
that's the kind of beer that if you have a pint of this sitting at the bar in front of you,
Mhm.
you're going to go through this way slower than anything else
Oh,
because
sure.
every sip, like me personally, I take every sip, I savor it, and I try to pull it all in, and I'm not just guzzling this down like just some cheap fucking Bud Light draft or whatever. So
sure.
yeah, I'm a fan. I like it.
Wait, what's the alcohol percentage?
This is I think 7. Yes, they're generally between.
This is really good.
I don't know. I
Not
was
bad
just
at
about to
all.
ask. Yeah,
Like really, really good.
Yeah.
How much did you spend on that? What is that? A 20-ounce bottle? What am I looking at?
it's a 750, and that was $23. Yeah, were you wrong?
Who has Venmo?
So that's like
Yeah.
that's probably
I know.
like 2 tall boys. How many ounces is in there?
Right, because if my lady says,
It's
hey,
like a
stop
bottle
and
of
grab
champagne,
a
basically,
bottle.
It's the same,
right?
Todd. It's the same size as your Jack bottle.
Probably
right
not
there.
I
gonna
know,
do
but
that.
we're talking kind of beer.
It's
not-
like
I mean,
25 ounces. 20.
Yeah.
20.
I drink a lot more beer than
Yeah,
I would whiskey.
sure. Yeah, yeah,
know?
sure. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. To get me going, it might take me 2 bottles. Is where I was
Well,
at. That's where
He
I
said
was going.
that's
Probably.
7%. Your bottle of Jack there is 40%.
Yeah.
That's the difference.
What's a Heineken?
Probably like 4 or 5.
4 or 5.
What's a
yeah.
Guinness?
4.2, I think.
I love some Guinness. That's
Yeah.
Ew.
I like the dark stouts.
You're Jamaican. You got some Jamaican in you.
So what's everybody's
No,
what's
that's
everybody's
the Irish.
take around the table? Like, what
Ah,
are you
that's-
feeling?
That's,
Right near the beach.
that's
So
the
far,
Irish.
that's my favorite.
I don't think I have.
Yeah.
Welsh.
Like definitely.
Well, when you
that's
talk
my
about
favorite.
world class beers,
Mick Marley.
this is a world class beer.
Okay. Because I know Liz is into sours anyway, so like that hits the same like points in the flavor palette